What's up, guys, and welcome back to the G2A Festival. This is going to be Game 2, yet the score is 0-0. I'm not going to explain it to you guys because you're just not going to get it. But either way, this is going to be another game. I think the last game between Moscow 5 and 4 Clovers. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but we have a fresh draft, and that's all that matters. And that is it. Mikelorus is going to be joined by Couchor for, let's call this Game 1, man. Let's just call this Game 1. And we'll just be happy with that. And well, it's gonna be exciting casting this 4 Clovers team for the first time ever. Nothing has ever marred my perception of them before.
Well, I'm perfectly fine with calling it game number 1 at least. And looking at the bans, we can already see something different coming out. Moscow 5 kind of respect banning a 3 and protector, whereas 4 Clover have taken out the Queen of Pain. But we will have a sniper. Can't say it's all that surprising to have that hero picked up, considering it wasn't banned. But 4 Clover now, Spirit Breaker Lina.
Team pick.
Okay, so Spirit Breaker, I really kind of just like don't want to use Game 1 as a context for anything because it's still not done yet. But Spirit Breaker was picked up by Moscow 5 in the last game. I'm just gonna do it anyway, I don't care. And they were really aggressive with it. 4 Clovers, they were playing a really slow farming game, so I think if they want to go for a slow farming game, you just pick up slow farming heroes, but it seems like that's not going to be the case just yet. They do need some response to this sniper, and it is going to be, at the very least, the Spirit Breaker. They should be going for a little bit more. Would like to see Moscow 5 maybe like take out the Earthshaker or the Bat Rider or whatever in the second ban phase.
So, Moscow 5, Angel Spirit, I think would be a pretty solid pickup for sure here. Just the minus armor is excellent to go with the sniper, but if not, you can maybe go for a straight out core hero as well. Try to get yourself an offlaner, or I still think probably any kind of support is the standard choice, whether it be the Vengeful or the Lion. Of course, Storm Spirit also in the pool if they would like to go for that one.
Yeah, taking it is, you know, another way of dealing with it. Usually it's sniper banning out Storm Spirit later on, unless it's already banned in the first phase for whatever reason, but if Moscow 5 want to go for that one, it would shove one of these heroes to the side lanes. That's perfectly fine for them, and Spirit Breaker is pretty good versus both the sniper, and is okay applying pressure to the Storm Spirit very early on. But it is, of course, just up to Moscow 5 right now. I think it's probably safer to grab just an Earthshaker right here. It's a hero that has a stun, or you could just go with that. I mean, that's better, I guess. What do I know? If you want to stun at the Spirit Breaker, Void is not exactly the best way to do it, but it's definitely an awesome way to potentially do it.
Man, Night Stalker is just such a baller hero, and Moscow 5, I do believe they have ran that Night Stalker in a support role as well. Maybe it was more so Moscow 5 International, as in like Screen Squad kind of running the Night Stalker as a support, but even then, it can happen, but let's say this is gonna be a Night Stalker core. Is it gonna be then mid lane with Sniper taking over the safe lane, or?
I think it's probably just going to be them sitting on these 2 heroes without any real lanes in mind. They would like to get a better read on 4 Clover's lanes before they actually make that decision, because Night Stalker, though you would love to have him in the mid lane, he's not really good in the mid lane. Like, he'll get outlaned by a great portion of the other mid lane heroes in the game, and that's something you really can't afford. So they'll just sit on this if it's a bad mid lane for the Night Stalker, put the sniper there. Otherwise, be greedy, put the Night Stalker in mid lane, and put the sniper on safe lane. That's fine as well. The supporty Night Stalker, we see it a lot more than you would actually expect. It's a little bit finicky, but once the second nighttime phase comes around, or if they have really aggressive heroes in the first nighttime phase, they can actually get quite a bit going. Maybe not towards the Spirit Breaker, but if you jump on the Lina, if you just have that Void and then the beatdown, that's usually going to be enough to get some kills.
It most certainly is, but we'll see if they want to go for more aggression in general, or maybe they're going to be fine with what they've got at the moment. So, last game, man, I've already almost forgot what we even had as drafts last game. Well, we had the Darkseer
like
for Moscow 5.
Bloodseeker or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't even know.
Bloodseeker and Darkseer.
Yeah.
Those were the heroes, man. I would love to see a Darkseer just Ion shilling up a Night Stalker, and Night Stalker just running at people.
You would need to have weird lanes though, because I think the only
reason it doesn't even need to be like a laning combo, but just in general, like the first item hits.
If you're gonna do it ever, you kind of have to do it early, right? Where the Night Stalker and the Darkseer are still relevant heroes. Or relevant.
Well, then you just have to go for like Darkseer 3 and Protector off lane. That's like best. Ion Shell 3, Ion Shell Surge 3, no less.
I mean, 4 Clovers could just grab the Darkseer right now and then just have the same exact combo that Moscow 5 had in the last game. That's also a possibility. Just charge at people with Ion Shell. It worked pretty well, and if you're going up against Sniper, that's a great way of shutting him down.
Yeah, you definitely want as many options as you can in getting close to the Sniper, and Surge in general would be a pretty nice help there, just getting through that shrapnel as well, whether it be aggressively or defensively trying to disengage, for example. So it definitely wouldn't be the worst kind of hero, but Night Stalker being up against the Darkseer, just having that crippling fear to the silence, may make that hero less of a option for Clover there. But they are taking some time now, banning things out. Hopefully nobody's disconnected. Nope, nobody's disconnected, so all is fine. They're just taking a long time.
The DDoS starts early. Right in the draft, it's time to get rid of some players. But no, we have the Vengeful Spirit and the Dazzle being banned out by 4 Clovers, trying their best to make sure the Sniper's time is going to be difficult. But of course, there are always defensive supports that you can pick up, as 4 Clovers decide to go for a Chen. This is looking kind of familiar as far as the game plan is concerned to their last game. I'm just hoping for 4 Clovers that they actually play this more aggressively and don't sit back on just a couple of kills here and there. The defensive support of choice for Moscow 5 is going to be the Earthshaker in the meantime. Maybe this is going to be a super aggressive pushing strategy from 4 Clovers?
It may be, and I'm not even completely opposed to it, although pushing up against a Sniper as well as an Earthshaker definitely not the easiest thing to do. Maybe on the early levels you can take advantage of that and get a couple of towers down, but breaking high ground is definitely going to be hard for them, although, well, with a Lycan coming out, their push is going to be extremely strong, and although Moscow 5, like I was saying, they definitely have a decent just defense at the moment. Depending on how fast 4 Clover can get themselves just ready and going, they may, or Moscow 5 may not be ready in time to really stop it.
Yeah, they need a lot more AoE to deal with this right now. Shrapnel Fissure, it's fine, but it's really difficult to stop a Lycan and Chen push with just that. It's even going to be harder if 4 Clovers want to go really deep and grab something like a Broodmother. That could make this push just get out of control, and the Broodmother situation right now, they're up against a Shaker later on. Early stages Shaker really not good versus the Brood, so Moscow 5, they need a little bit more AoE to deal with this. This is when they would really love to pick up someone like the Lina, just to have some reliable high damage nukes. As far as that is concerned, I mean, they already have the Night Stalker, who is kind of out of his depth when you consider counter push. He's good at killing off Linas and Chens, but when those Linas and Chens are in a giant group with a Lycan and Spirit Breaker, that's just not going to happen for the Night Stalker. He has to get solo pickoffs, and it's going to be difficult for Moscow 5 to do that. They're going to grab a Sand King as their kind of secondary AoE supporter, and that's good up against what 4 Clovers are actually planning. But now they have 2 melee supports, or what looks like 2 melee supports, and a 3rd melee hero in the Night Stalker. That's a lot of downside. Even though the Sand King is kind of what they want, it's not really good with what they have.
It's definitely a risky kind of pick at the moment. They want just some more defense, some more just jumping power, and Sand King definitely has the tools to really farm up the fast blink dagger with massive just stacking in the jungle, farming it up with that sandstorm. But if they fail to get that fast blink dagger, suddenly the problems that you just pointed out will become really clear for us, I think. So Moscow 5, they're kind of under pressure here. The thing is, though, at the moment, even if this game goes fast, I'm not entirely sure if we would have time for a game 3, even if we somehow manage to fix game 1.
I think we're just going to play this one game. For anyone asking about the score, then there is no score. This is just a best of 1. That's all you have to know right now. And if you bet on any site, then, well, you're shit out of luck, because I don't know what to tell you. Literally, I don't know what to tell you. Ancient Apparition is the pan out for 4 Clovers.
I know what to tell them. Do not bet, people. Do not bet.
Yeah, do not bet, because it leads you to do some weird things, like not look at the screen and spam the chat with score, when I already explained it. But, you know, maybe you weren't here for that, in which case you have an excuse, but it's still not one that I'm going to actually explain again. 4 Clovers don't actually have that much time left to make their last pick. It seems like Moscow have a good read that this Lina is going to be played as mid, and with the game plan from 4 Clovers, oh my god, it's a Warlock. Okay, well, if you're going to be pushing, you might as well go for the biggest thing you could possibly find, and it doesn't get much bigger than a giant Warlock Golem. Warlock is also reasonable up against Sniper, just because you will be able to hit him with that ultimate every single time, and as Sniper, once the Warlock Golem drops, you have to run. You have no other choice.
Is the Warlock Golem the biggest unit in the game? It should be, right? It's bigger than the Tidehunter, is it?
I don't know, man. It seems like it should be.
It probably is. I'm
Giant
thinking
demon.
about it
How
at
could
the
it not
moment.
be?
It feels gigantic if I think about it at the moment. So, of course, don't see Warlock all that often, but it is going to be Sexy Bamboo playing it. So the laning yet to be decided. Although for now, maybe a mid lane Warlock.
Yeah, mid lane Warlock is probably the most common thing that you're going to see as far as when Warlock is actually picked up. Sexy Bamboo did play the Bloodseeker last game, so quite the stark difference between the two heroes. Yet sometimes when you pick up a weird hero like Warlock, you just gotta give him to whoever feels comfortable, and it seems like Bamboo is going to be that player. It is very consistent with their game plan. They're looking to take one crushing team fight, maybe not dominate it, maybe just take like a 2-for-1 trade, but then with the remnants of that team fight, with the rest of the Chen creeps, with ideally the Lycan being still alive, and the Warlock Golem, who's also probably going to be walking around, just go for towers straight after. And you could bet that's going to happen pretty much as soon as Chaotic Offering is going to come up. Maybe not as soon as that's going to come up. Maybe when Lycan grabs his Vlads, gets like a Necro Book or something like that. But then the pushes are going to be coming like clockwork. And for Moscow 5, their last pick was the Witch Doctor. A great hero versus Chen because you could just stun out his creeps forever with that cask. But this is going to mean that we have his core Sand King, and that is potentially very strong. But also, it's a Sand King in lane. He's not exactly a powerhouse there, so it's easily punishable. But for right now, guys, for the 4 Clovers side, they are all set in their lanes. We got Seedoy, who's going to be standing in for Hani in this particular game, playing the Spirit Breakers. The SB Sexy Bamboo is going to be on the Warlock with Yol taking the Lina. We got Go Black on the Chen. That leaves BZZ on the bottom lane Lycan.
As for Moscow 5, they're gonna have Tron head towards the off lane by the looks of it on the Night Stalker. Zedexy playing the Sniper with Slander on the Witch Doctor, picking up to be the Earthshaker, and the last one is going to be Axmo playing the Sand King. And I also, within our downtime, took a look at his actual Steam profile, and it is indeed Axmo.
Okay, good to know that we're not giving Axmo credit for someone else's plays, but no, he's getting all the credit and all the shame, I suppose, if he makes a bad play. But it's right now just going to be a Sand King going up towards top dual lane with the Witch Doctor. It is a pretty dangerous lane. Like, if you're going to be running in your pubs and looking to stomp some people, if you grab 2 stuns, you're going to be alright, and this is a pretty nice dual stunning combo. That being said, they're going to be throwing their stuns into a Spirit Breaker. With 700 HP with no stat items, they need a lot more than just 2 stuns to actually kill him off. They need a third hero here, and Bignum probably is going to have his hands full patrolling in between mid and bottom, especially bottom to make sure that Tron gets a decent time. But over in mid, they have kill potential on this Warlock. He's gone for, well, now Shadow Word plus the Fatal Bonds, but if they land a Fissure, if they drop 1 or 2 layers of Shrapnel, then Warlock is a very easy kill.
So Warlock in general, what kind of item build to expect him to go for? Do you build like a Hand of Midas, or is it straight rushing and Aghanims, or what's the like favorite build for you for that hero?
Well, usually it's you want to get an Aghanim Scepter Refresher Orb at some point in the game. Whether or not you grab a Hand of Midas really depends on, I think, 2 things in this game. Well, first of all, him not dying, Sexy Bamboo going deep on his EXP, but now 2 layers of Shrapnel, Bignum closing in for a Fissure, which will also connect, although won't really funnel him into Shrapnel. Here comes the Chen, will ward away everyone from Moscow 5. Yeah, his going for Midas depends on 2 things. One, how well he does in lane. Right now he's doing just fine, so if he's getting absolute free farm, maybe he just skips the Midas. Second of all, it depends on how well the Lycan is farming. Because if Lycan is farming very, very well, then they could afford to, have Sexy Bamboo go for a Midas and then just chill and wait until a later stage and have the Lycan hold down the fort early. It really depends on those factors. Yol, in the meantime, getting into a fist fight with Tron, and he will be on the receiving end of a lot of creep aggro, so Yol's going to have to back off there. But this is definitely a game where for Bamboo, he's going to have to play his item build by ear. If he feels comfortable going for a Hand of Midas and trying to invest a little bit more to late game, then fine, you can go ahead and do that. But if the team is under a little bit more pressure, maybe you don't have the time to go for the Midas.
Yeah, we'll see. At the moment, like I said, he's at least for now having great farm, but then again, looking at Sand King, he's kind of enjoying himself as well. Of course, Spirit Breaker not that threatening as an offlaner in general. Has even gone for 2 points into the charge at the moment. Maybe wants to get out of a Burrow Strike or like range, or maybe try to outrun a Paralyzing Cask with the charge. But Seedoy, he's pretty much just soaking up XP. He even has 6 last hits, definitely not too bad. But he's not going to be getting all that much farm-wise from the lane.
Yeah, and, well, the Night Stalker is also going to be having a rough time down towards bottom. He is level 3, and for the most part, it's just going to be a Lycan versus Night Stalker lane. there was a stage in Dota where if someone said that there would be a Night Stalker and a Lycan in the same game, they would be literally laughed at, like hilariously laughed at, but here we are. Yol can only do so much to zone out Tron and BZZ, although, you know, Lycan is pretty good at just taking hits, trading hits in lane. Night Stalker is just as good, if not maybe a little bit better, so for the most part it's going to be a 1 versus 1 lane. Tron not going to get the most CS, but he is going to get quite a few levels, and that's really all you really want on a Night Stalker. If he somehow manages to get to level 4 before this nighttime phase, then he's going to be very happy. He has the boots, he has the Orb of Venom, and after a couple kills, ideally he would have something like an urn or a bottle to help sustain himself. He can roam around and really just endlessly hunt down the heroes of 4 Clovers.
Yeah, it's really boding well for Night Stalker at the moment that 4 Clover did choose to run the Chen just being in the jungle. Of course, Chen at the moment feels like he's just focusing on farming, doesn't really need to help out the lanes all that much because, yes, even though Tron is getting a little bit of XP, at least everybody else is getting farm, although Yol now might be in trouble. Nighttime hits Tron, gets a haste rune as well, there's the Void, TP out from Yol, gonna be stopped by the Fisher, and that is first blood claimed by the Night Stalker.
This is setting a bad precedent for 4 Clovers. The first nighttime phase of an offlane Night Stalker should be one where he's just sitting in lane and farming because he's having a bad time. But getting, first of all, the perfect rune, and second of all, the perfect rune at the perfect time, and getting the kill on the easiest target is going to mean a whole bunch of things fall into the right places for Tron. Now he's sitting at 670 gold, close to his bottle if he wants to go for that, but if not, he's still going to be able to apply a lot more pressure around the map simply because he does have that additional acceleration with that first blood. So it doesn't get much better than that for Night Stalkers, unless he ran into a Chen also and was able to grab that kill, but he's approaching level 5, and he is approaching solo kill status on the great portion of 4 Clover's heroes. 4 Clovers, they're still doing okay on the Warlock over towards mid. They're not shutting down the Sand King up towards towards top rather. So the Sand King is going to have a fast Blink Dagger. Their pushing has yet to start, and really if they suffer too many casualties in this first nighttime phase, their push will be delayed to a scary degree where their pushing just won't be effective anymore. ZXC though is going to get completely surrounded. There's literally nowhere to run for this sniper. He's going to get bailed out by a fissure right now, is going to get the rock dropped on him. However, Chen struggling to close in, but the net he will stomp for good measure, and the Warlock Golem will do in the sniper. Suddenly 4 heroes in the mid lane. Chen's army though will bail out instead of going for this push. Kind of interested to see that. Tron thinking about rotating in. He runs into the Spirit Breaker though. Spirit Breaker, like him, these are not easy kills for the Night Stalker, but still the tower is taking quite the beating from this Golem.
So for Moscow 5, it's still not all that bad, even though it wasn't big enough now. Gonna get stunned up, charged in by G2A as well, and that's gonna be another kill going in with your 4 Clover. Paralyzing cast though, can they get the counter at least? A Light Striker, a Tron! No, they ain't, so he's not gonna die, is he? Should be able to outrun it, but the Shadow Word on him is level 3. But he's gonna be fine with the Wood Restoration.
Unless he decides to get into a fistfight with this Golem, which I'm pretty sure is not the play right here. Warlock Golem gonna ward them away. Tower is held, I suppose, and they get a kill on the Lina. However, it does cost them in the end Bignum. That's fine, I think, for both sides, honestly. 4 Clovers use their first Warlock Golem to get a kill on the sniper, and that's fine for them as well. And really, the important thing is that BZZ is left pretty much by himself for the good portion of that time. And then now he has his power treads. He should have Vlad's parts. Yeah, Basilius is incoming towards him right now, and he will be heading on towards that one as well. So that's just a taste of the pushing that is to come from 4 Clovers. And if they didn't make that super aggressive dive, I'm tempted to say they would have walked away with that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, probably so, although this time around there's no like Treant Protector to heal the towers back up, so it is going to be permanent damage. Mid lane though, Shrapnel comes out as well as the Void from Tron. Silence that on top of that, and with the Assassinate, the kill will be secured. Can they grab a counter? Yes, Go Black, nicely done. Using his Creepster, getting the Shockwave going from the Satyr, so they at least get the counter, and I think it's not even that bad of a trade. I mean, in theory it's nice for Moscow 5 for the Night Stalker to just get the kill, but it's just getting Chen closer to his mech.
And it's really nice to get the kill on the Night Stalker during nighttime phase. This is when he's a threat. And for 20 seconds or whatever, if you could not worry about the Night Stalker, then everyone on 4 Clovers is guaranteed to get a little bit more experience and a little bit of a safer time as well. So, as you said, it's a pretty decent trade. Warlock really doesn't need that much. He has his phase boots up already, so additional movement speed to potentially get out of that situation next time it happens. But he's also closing in on his second rock, and this is probably representing a tower push for 4 Clovers if they rejoin Chen back in the mid lane. And it looks like Go Black and Yol will make a beeline straight for it. Maybe first to secure the 8-minute rune, but also mid lane tower is an objective that they can very easily take with the amount of bulk they have on these heroes.
Money to burn.
So Goblet did go for them Arcane Boots, Lina full on mana as well. And it looks like they're going to be rotating towards the bottom tier 1 instead. But one thing that the chat also pointed out is that Moscow 5, they may have drawn first blood, but look at the last hits on Sniper. Only 21 at the moment. Definitely not all that threatening, but of course, we do have to keep our eyes on Axmo as well. Bottom lane, Goldback gonna get silenced and slowed. Should be going down, Burrow Strike. Yeah, he's dead, but can he save his creep army at least?
Well, the cask is still bouncing. Hellbear taking the focus as new player with the Sand King, Haste Rune. He's going to go straight for Yo. LSA will be very cleanly dodged. Dragon Slave will not, but he has a Burst Strike to get this kill, and he will. Here comes BZZ trying to go for Slander. Look at the Lycan's damage, but it's just not enough. Chen Creep's still kind of in the area, doing some damage to the Sand King, but he has the Haste Rune. He'll get out of there safe and sound. They need the Warlock to be there for that fight, and now Sand King picks up his Blink Dagger. Warlock comes in a little bit too late to that party, and it is 2 casualties in favor of Moscow 5. Those were probably the 2 best heroes for 4 Clovers to lose, however, and Chen does keep control of his entire creep army. So for 4 Clovers, the push does not end here. They're just going to go right back in again, but Sand King does have his Blink Dagger now, and that's really what 4 Clovers would like to avoid as much as possible. Now that it's up, a Blink into Epicenter can stop this push cold if it were to land. And this push is going to continue onward. Sexy Bambo needs to watch his positioning. If he gets caught in that Burrow Strike Epicenter, and he can't get that rock off, then this team fight is going to go disastrously for 4 Clovers.
So a new player, he's going to be channeling that epicenter. How many is he going to hit? No, the rock comes out. Seedoy as well. Axmo, well, he's going to kill off the Spirit Breaker, I think. Seedoy can't even get off his Nether Strike. But that could have been so much better for Moscow 5.
Well, 4 Clovers, they end up losing a hero and don't get anything in return. ZXC now chasing down for both Go Black and Bambo. The creep army is trying to retreat, and it is, you know, even though the Epicenter is cancelled, or I guess interrupted in the Blink initiation, they still end up losing the Spirit Breaker, and Moscow 5 don't lose a single hero. So with all of that being thrown, 4 Clovers, they committed way too deep in to try to cancel out that Epicenter, and therefore put them into a bad position where they just could not continue to fight. So even though like the Sand King didn't get the Epicenter off, it baited 4 Clovers in, and that was just good enough because they don't end up losing their tower, they don't have any casualties, and they're able to get away with the kill. So somehow that's how it worked out, and for all intents and purposes, that's a nice little win for Moscow 5. They have a long time to wait now before the next push is going to be incoming. 100 seconds on this Warlock Rock, and for that 100 seconds, they're just going to be farming up a little bit more. If they somehow get a Blink Dagger on Bignum, it's not going to happen, but if he somehow finds it on the floor or something like that, then 4 Clovers' game plan is out the window. Then they have to just shift gears and try to go into late game mode.
Yeah, this time around it was a little bit reminiscent of that mid lane when the Rock Golem was dropped the first time. They just tried to go for the kills and could have gone for the tower instead. This time around as well, they dropped the Golem. It was enough to zone Moscow 5 out, so maybe just going for the tier 2 instead would have been a little bit better. But for us in hindsight, it's always easy to say, but Lycan now does have a medallion finished after that lad, so if they ever want to try Roshan, it should be rather easy. They may, of course, want to wait for another Golem to come out from Warlock. And Warlock does have Gloves of Haste, so might still be going for that later version of the Midas.
And if he does grab it, it is going to be 14-ish minutes, assuming he sticks in the lane and maybe he's under a little bit of pressure, mixed farming results. But yeah, he'll have that one eventually, and he can't afford to go for this one because Lycan's doing fantastically right now. Spirit Breaker also not doing too terribly for the 4 Clover side. And the Warlock Golem, it's not up for another 30, yet this tower is not really healthy to start things off. They're going to go for another push. Where is Axmo? He's up towards top lane. Sand King is going to run to Seedoy right now. He has a Burrow Strike out plus Sandstorm to get himself a little bit more distance, and he will be just fine. Chen only has 2 creeps right now, and he's level 7. Actually, no, he has a 3rd somewhere. It's channeling a tornado. There it is. So he's going to get a little bit of vision for the team, but I don't really know if 4 Clovers can convincingly make this push happen. They need to get a pick off beforehand, or they need the Warlock Golem to be up. It will be up in 5 though, so they're just going to chill and wait until then. But off in the backside, Tron, well, he's going to cancel the tornado channeling of the Wild Wing. Now here comes the push from 4 Clovers. Maybe. It's just the Lycan to start things off, but with Fissure, with the cast, and with the sniper's damage, BZZ's can take quite a beating from this. Death Ward gonna be channeled, nothing's interrupting it. Fissure is there. Here comes the Epicenter from behind. It's gonna connect onto 2, and the Maldic will kill off the Lycan, and they also kill off the other 2 with the ultimate from Bignum. That's instantly 3 heroes down for 4 Clovers, and they're on the retreat. Yol is not assassinated just yet. Blink forward, Burrow Strike though, that will kill off the Lina. Now Seedoy, he's at full HP, but he just can't do anything in this fight. Moscow 5 have held, and very strongly at that. The initiation, though awkward on that Lycan, was just what they needed in order to put 4 Clovers again into a bad position for Axmo to clean up.
It was a really nice bait from them, the F4 just doing a huge amount of damage. Perfect Fissure as well, kind of. And of course the epicenter coming out from Axmo, and not only that, ZXC also used the Assassinate to clean up the Golem for an additional 100 gold there. So that was really the fight that Moscow 5 needed, but the charge coming in into Axmo, it's gonna be a pretty nice kill if they can grab it, but there's a Burrow Strike. Shadow Word though, with the Fatal Bonds, may still be his undoing. Slander comes in with a level 1 Voodoo Restoration, not sure if it's gonna be enough. Oh god, so close.
Yeah, he barely gets to live, so Axmo gonna walk away, get to his base, 4-0-3 on this Sand King, and Bignum also collecting huge there. I just checked, like at 11 minutes he had 0 gold, and now he has 1,000, so that's Echo Slam. If you can walk in and land it onto 2 heroes, yeah, you're gonna be doing that every single time. That's exactly what he did with backup from the Sand King. These 2 melee supports, or I mean, I guess supporty heroes, though awkward in the lanes, at this point when they could work together, it's such a deadly duo. There are stuns everywhere, and the amount of magical damage is huge from Moscow 5 right now. 4 Clovers. They even took that fight with the Warlock Golem, so what could they possibly wait for, and what could they pick up so that the pushing is going to go better next time? Well, Mech is coming out on Go Black. There's no Aghanim Scepter in sight for Bambo, and for Lycan, maybe you wait for a Necro Book, but I don't really think this pushing plan for 4 Clovers is really going to work out anymore.
Yeah, it's really Moscow 5. They managed to get just enough levels, just enough items as well to stop the push just from the get-go almost. Sand King was a little bit skeptical about him really farming on the safe lane, but everything's worked out so far. Slander doesn't miss uphill all that much, but he's gonna get trapped by the troll. But Paralyzing Cask so great against just creeps, units, which aren't heroes of course, so he's gonna easily run away. Spirit Breaker in the meantime does finish an Urn of Shadows. Extra just sustain power or damage. Lycan though, Shapeshift is forced out, but can't really go and reinitiate.
Yeah, they're going to put some damage into Tron. Yol thinking about coming in, but with no disable to start things out, the LSA is just not going to connect. Over towards mid, G2A is maledicted, assassinated as well. That's lethal in and of itself, but the cask is still bouncing between him and Bambo. There's another shrapnel on the deck. They'll get a little bit of vision, but Assassinate has already been used. It's just going to be a kill on the Spirit Breaker. Echo Slam was committed, I think, unnecessarily, but hell, they get the kill anyway for the team, and they might actually get this tower as well. It's 15 minutes in. Bignum will have 1,600-ish gold towards his Blink Dagger should this tower drop, and it will. It's dropping pretty fast, in fact. So 1650 on Bignum's Shaker, and 411 right now. 4 Clovers. So far, their pushing has gotten them a tower, and a little bit of tower damage on some other lanes. But that's not really what the point of their draft was supposed to be. They're supposed to get the gold advantage, hold on to it so that the Lycan and the Spirit Breaker and the Warlock can all get to a really big state, and then just easily push up high ground once they are, you know, packing the BKBs and Necro Books. But that's no longer their game plan, so they're just gonna have to sit back and farm. And now Moscow 5, I mean, they have geared up pretty well for taking team fights right now. They should be on the aggressive.
Well, it's definitely still not over by 4 Clover by any means, because Lycan, once he finishes up his Necro level 3, his pushing power and also team fighting power is gonna spike up quite a bit there. Plus, this tier 1 will finally go down in the mid lane. Don't think there's any defense for it. They have a glyph, they're gonna use it, but it's just a couple of extra seconds of really delaying things out. If you're 4 Clover though, do you try to force it and just continue to the tier 2 if you're in the mid lane already, or well, maybe Roshan is their just target instead?
I think they should probably still be going for these plays. Maybe not super aggressively, like don't dive the towers or anything like that, guys. But you have the Warlock Golem available to you. You might as well try to use it when you have it available, just so that you could always have it on cooldown. That's much better. They're going to see this yanking up on the top side, but Moscow 5, they are wrapping around right now. Death Ward can be channeled, Fissure can be thrown, and Roshan is perfectly spotted out right now by ZXC. Are you kidding me? Well, okay, where's the Sand King? That's important right now. Moscow 5, they're going to bring in their Sand King up from the top side of this fight. I think this Fissure is going to be thrown, which will ideally lock in BCC and Go Black, and then those heroes are just irrelevant for this upcoming fight.
I think so, but it was really nice for Clover to even spot out the Sand King to begin with. Sand King, he was positioning himself so to be on the edge where the Bruiser camp is. From there on, easy epicenter blink to follow, but well, they're already gonna pop Shapeshift.
Well, Bignum is actually spotted out by Wolves. He's going to try to turn around for the Fissure. He will fail in that. Now he's going to be brought down. No ultimate available for him, but here comes the Sand King. The Epicenter's channel is going to go right towards Bambo. However, the Warlock almost already been dropped. Slander from the low ground, channeling his ultimate as well. And they'll bring BZZ down very low. However, not quite lethal. He's running up towards the north. I don't really know if there's an escape path there, but it seems like with movement speed there will be. Seedoy also charging down to the south. Will run straight into ZXC. Find a free kill for the Warlock. That's what you want to see when you're Spirit Breaker. And ultimately, it's going to be a 2 for 3. Moscow 5 lose their sniper, which is pretty bad, but they ultimately do hold. They're also going to kill off the Warlock Golem, so a little bit of extra cash there for Tron, and they ultimately stall out the Roshan. Are they going to go into Roshan themselves? Because they might run into a shortage of damage if they do try to do that right now. They'll be able to take a Roshan fight, but they will not be able to clear out Roshan very quickly, so they have to back off right now. It's a win for Moscow 5, though, and for Clovers, I guess they have the Hand of Midas now on the Warlock, but that's not going to do much for him right now. They can go right back into the Roche Pit, although Go Black is spotted by the Sand King. Sandstorm not going to do it, even after the Dagon Blast. Turn around for the Test of Faith. New player is going to get bashed up. Seedoy is going to get the kill with a secondary bash. Are you kidding me, man? Oh my god, Sand King had a haste rune there, and yeah, Axmo knows about it. 17% times 17%. Chances of that happening are pretty darn low, yet Seedoy rolls lucky.
Man, it's not luck or anything. It's for some players, it's an activated skill with a cooldown. It's
Hey,
just
if
like
I get
a 1
stun
second
like that
cooldown.
every 1.5 seconds, I'll be happy. I'll be so happy. They're going to go right back into the Roche Pit. This time Fissure is going to wall off Seedoy, so he's in a man fight now with Roshan. But there is an Epicenter not available right now for another 20 seconds. Echo Slam is up. Seedoy is stuck on the high ground. That's not where you want to be. He'll heal himself a little bit, and I don't think he's spotted right now. He's definitely not, otherwise someone will be going towards him. Cass is going to bounce through. Here comes the Sand King, looking for a Burst Strike. Will go blind and will miss, but the Death Ward channel with the Fissure going to go straight towards BZZ. Slowed down by the Void, will give his life immediately. The charge over to the right side. They're going to try to kill off Axmo, and they will take him out for almost even trade. Chen dies as well. Moscow 5 once again take a beneficial trade. This time they're going to try to go into the Roche Pit. Cool down on the Warlock Golem, 40 seconds. So that's 40 seconds where Moscow 5 can do whatever they want. But it looks like they will pull back and play cautiously.
Yeah, I think them going into Roshan would have been a little bit too risky. If they only had one source of minus armor, maybe so. But at least Earthshaker is about only, say, 70 gold away from his Blink Dagger. So Bignum, once he gets his own Blink Dagger, suddenly having Sand King and Earthshaker blink around and just do mass amounts of damage and disable. It's going to get a little bit scarier for Clover and Lepricon, but at least Lycan is number 1 in network for now. Sniper isn't in that luxurious position anymore, but then again, they are still pretty damn close to each other.
Tron is going to run into the Lina and Spirit Breaker. Here comes the charge, and Tron just uses Void to kill off a random Chen creep. LSA to follow things up will land. Tron probably going to die right here. However, here comes the Sniper. Tron is going to walk away, not quite far enough. Sniper's still firing right now, but he doesn't have any backup here just yet. It is incoming, though. New player going to channel his Epicenter, will do 0 damage to anyone. Now the Warlock Golem is going to drop onto 2, ZXC Slander included. The Echo Slam from Bignum is pretty nice to buy ZXC a little bit of disengagement space. Now Slander channeling his ultimate, which will destroy Seedoy. Now going to be channeled towards the Warlock. New player still there with the Sandstorm doing some pretty heavy damage. Tron has arrived. He will get the kill for that Warlock. Now going towards the Chen as well. They will beat him down, making it a 4 for 2 again in favor of Moscow 5. Bignum's Blink Dagger definitely catching 4 Clovers off by surprise. Even after an Epicenter that did no damage, they still crushed that fight, Moscow 5, and they're getting so far ahead.
Well, Night Stalker did buy back for this, so in the end, metric-wise, it is kind of an even trade, but if Moscow 5 are able to now also claim Roshan, it would be such an advantage, but I don't think Night Stalker and Sand King are really the heroes to do that with. But considering how that fight started for Moscow 5, the Epicenter completely whiffing. I'm not too sure if it did a single point of damage. Maybe it did, but really minimal amounts of it if it did. It went really wonderful for them, but the charge is coming out to Tron now. Are they really gonna go for it? Maybe so. Finally, at least Goblak has the mech, but for a Chen, it's an extremely late mech.
Charge still coming in, but will be cancelled by Seedoy. Are we going to have another Roche Pit fight? The ultimate status of Moscow 5 not up. Not looking too good for them. No Epicenter, no Echo. And they're going to try to clear up Roshan now. They're spotted by Wolves. These Wolves are going to be annoying, but that's pretty much all. Warlock Golem not up either, however. So this is going to be a very positioning-based fight. upcoming. ZXC in the Roche Pit is not where he wants to be. Wolf's going to come in one more time with the heal from Slander. They're keeping themselves up. Here comes Bambo. Going to chain them all together. Sandstorm is there, but Bambo already did his job. He just has to make sure to not die right now. I don't think that could happen, though. He has a lot of healing, but with Death Ward being channeled, Bambo stuck outside the pit is going to drop. ZXC, though, similarly stuck inside the pit, is going to die. And the Roshan will be claimed by the Lycan. Now towards Tron they go. Seedoy will Nether Strike him for the high ground, get back down and get the kill as well. Slander very, very low right now. Stopped moving. He's going to TP Seedoy 17%. No, not 17% this time, but this time it's a 2-for-1 for 4 Clovers, and landing a 4-man Fatal Bonds, man, that hurts a lot.
Man, that is massive indeed. So, for Clover, I think both of us thought that they may not be able to fight like that without the Golem being there for the Warlock, but they really took full advantage, and Sniper just getting blocked in by the Roshan, getting bashed by Roshan on top of that, and no escape really for him. Just... Sniper's biggest issue is mobility for the most part. Yes, he has the Yasha, but even then, coming out from the Roche Pit, there's just no chance at all. And Moscow 5, maybe they should have built like more of a wall around the Sniper, defend him, because if they don't have the Epicenter, if they don't have the Echo Slam, they really need the Sniper to just be in the backlines and dish out the damage. But in this case, they kind of sacrificed the Sniper and left him in the Roche Pit to die.
I want to say they made that play because they thought Bambo had his ultimate up. That's the only reason I could see. Like, you don't leave your Sniper alone. That just never is supposed to happen. But if you could take out the Warlock before he has a chance to drop his rock, then you're going to be good. Like, if you are all in the Roche Pit protecting your Sniper and the Warlock does have his Golem, then there's no way you win that fight if you're Moscow 5. You are going to die every single time. So they make the play to try to prevent that from happening at the cost of their Sniper. And the Warlock Golem wasn't even up. So for 4 Clovers, they get either a lucky break or they get a very good mind game going with Moscow 5. Because with all these fights, it is very hard to keep track of these ultimates. They end up with a pretty decent victory. Aegis is still alive on the Lycan right now, and they will get right back on the pushing train with that finally Roshan claimed by them. Fresh items include a mech on the Chen, Spiritbreaker closing in on his BKB, and an Aghanim Scepter, just 200 gold from completion. That's the tower. Almost gonna give it to Sexy Bambo, but he'll have it up, and his ultimate is available right now. So double rocks are incoming. You get one more creep kill. There it is. So Aghanim Scepter now flying out. Now, oh wait, no, wait. Is he missing a staff?
Yeah, he's missing the staff of Wizardry, I think.
Okay, well,
unless
okay,
it's
he's
on the
1,000 gold
ground.
away, so he will still have a level 2 Chaotic Offering, and that's still probably good enough, although here comes Moscow 5. They have the Epicenter and the Echo Slam available. ZXC just has to make sure to keep his positioning tight and to not get jumped. That should be pretty easy unless Spiritbreaker is the one to do the jumping, but Tron is on the front lines right now. He's going to charge forward, Void into BZZ, ZXC firing as well. They're doing a lot of damage to the Lycan for free. Aegis or not, he's going to get sent back to the base. Now Moscow 5 want to initiate, and they're going to jump forward. Go Black going to get caught in the Burrow Strike. This is definitely going to be a casualty for Clovers. Will they lose anyone else? It looks like the answer to that is no. Sexy Bambo will narrowly TP out from top, but they push back, or prevent the push coming from the 4 Clover side, and they get a free kill for Moscow 5, so they should be pretty happy with how that went.
Yeah, definitely not too shabby, and well, 4 Clover, I really was thinking that maybe they are gonna just full out push there with the Necrobook, with the Aegis that they have, but if the Lycan gets uninitiated like that, there's no point for you to pop ultimate, but if you keep on fighting, you know you're just gonna lose Lycan's life, and maybe have the Aegis just not too much of anything, because Aegis, it's still on a timer of sorts, so if you die, you can't benefit or help out your team with much of anything for the 5 seconds. And Moscow 5, they have definitely enough burst to really kill people within those 5 seconds if needed.
You can kill people in just a couple of seconds, like 1 or 2. Like, if you land the Epicenter with a level 3 Dagon at that point, people are going to be dying. For Moscow 5, I think Veil should be in consideration for one of their heroes, like just Sand King by himself if he grabs the Veil. I don't know how much magic damage he'll be doing, but it'll be a lot. Like, level 4 Dagon now with the Veil, that in and of itself is just disgusting amounts of damage. And BKBs, though they will be coming up, aren't going to be the saving grace of 4 Clovers, at least not for all their heroes, simply because they all can't afford BKB right now. So, Moscow 5, they're still playing this game on the defensive, pretty much as they have to. But the problem for them, I see, is that the Sand King has gone for this Dagon build, which is all well and good, but he's also holding on to the most net worth by a pretty convincing margin on Moscow 5, although him and the Sniper. And though Sniper you would like to have this net worth on, Sand King with all this net worth doesn't actually do that much. So he's more or less topped out right now, this Sand King, and any additional net worth that he gets, though nice, isn't really going to have as much of an impact as the net worth that's farmed up on the Spirit Breaker or the Lycan.
Yeah, it's definitely true, and I think the Veil of Discord you pointed out is probably the best choice. Like, you don't have to invest a hell of a lot to it, but it's going to benefit you so much. Even just boosting up the Assassinate is going to be massive, and more or less what that item does is make your magic abilities do pure damage, in a sense that it's going to give you the amount of extra damage that otherwise the base magic resistance would negate, so it's definitely a good item to go for if you have as much magic damage as you do on that lineup here. I mean, just imagine you going in with an actual 800 damage Dagon. It's gonna hurt so damn bad. I mean, even Lycan, which I think is the tankiest here. Oh no, never mind, Spirit Breaker is tankier with his BKB and Urn. But even then, dropping them down to just about half HP with only one ability, or well, not even an ability, an item I should say, and it does only have a 15-second cooldown on the last level.
And you're probably going to land a Burrow Strike on top of that, so that's 800 plus another pure 280. Yeah, Yol and Goldback are both dead, but Big Num, speaking of dead, can get the Epicenter onto 2 with the Echo Slam as well. Warlock Golem comes in, but it's a little bit too late. They've already lost 2 big players. Now they're going to go for Sexy Bamboo. Death Ward being channeled by Slander. It's going to shred through the Warlock and Goldback both. They finally get on top of him with the Warlock, but another Burrow Strike from Axmo will get a triple kill for himself. Cedar with the Warlock Golems going to do what he can in his BKB, but it's just too late for him. They've only lost the Witch Doctor. They might lose Axmo here as well, but a Fissure going to keep him alive from Seedoy right now. Burrow Strike out. Seedoy's getting worked down by ZXC. The Dagon Blast from Revenge from Axmo. He grabs an Ultra Kill, and the initiation there from Bignum was monstrous. 4 Clovers did not see that one coming, and they could not punish it at all. It's a 1 for 5 in favor of Moscow 5. Big plays from the Sand King Shaker combo.
That was just absolutely beautiful. The Blink Echo Slam it is near instant, and really you just don't have time to react for that at all. For a second I thought like maybe dropping the golems was a complete mistake, maybe should have completely just tried to disengage, but it wasn't that bad because highly likely they would have gotten chased down anyway with just Night Stalker being as fast as it is, the double blink daggers of the Earthshaker, as well of course Sand King plus Eye of Sky, the sniper now got finished just before the fight started. But wow, just what a fight. And for Clover, they must not be feeling all that great about how their game is going. They went for a rather heavy pushing lineup, and well, they have managed to destroy 4 towers. Definitely not too shabby, but that's only 1 tower more than Moscow 5 has taken down.
It's really just the lack of initiation for them. They need to be the ones making the jump in with someone. Ideally, it would be Seedoy's Spirit Breaker, just because he can do it the best, or a random Yule Scepter from Yol. But if they had a Bat Rider or something like that, then they could avoid most of these engagements, or at least put them on their own terms, and therefore have an advantage because of it. Because they don't have that initiator, it's going to be Moscow 5's Blinkers with the Sand King and the Shaker to make that play every single time, and soon they'll have Aghanim Scepter backup on the Witch Doctor. Slander's also been doing his job and then some. He's been getting some insane Witch Doctor ultimates. So don't want to take any credit from Slander, though a lot of credit is due to the other heroes of Moscow 5. Slander is definitely overperforming on this Witch Doctor as well. And they have that legal map hack now on Tron, so right now Moscow 5 will be working with Perfect Initiation Vision and Perfect Initiation Heroes, and they really don't have to worry about initiation coming their way, so Moscow 5, they're sitting pretty, and again, I mentioned before that 4 Clovers, they should be looking to change up their game plans. They're still on the same game plan. With the Aghanim Scepter on Warlock, they should be feeling pretty powerful, but they don't really have what it takes to take those full 5-on-5 heads-up fights. They just don't have the power level.
It's gonna get a tiny bit better now that PCC has his own BKB finished as well in the Lycan, but if everything goes like it did last fight, you're just not even gonna get the chance to activate the BKB because Blink Echo Slam, it is faster than you can react with the BKB unless you have some kind of a script that whenever somebody gets close to you, activate it. I don't know, I'm not too sure if the script would even be fast enough if such a thing exists, but Moscow 5, they're looking pretty solid. Tron just running around the map now on the Night Stalker with that level 3 darkness ready as well if it ever should be necessary for him to use it. And just scouting things out. Does have a gem on top of it all. And is there a smoke? Yes, there is a smoke coming from 4 Clover, and they need this smoke to land.
Unfortunately for them, they're going in the complete wrong direction. Usually there's going to be someone here, but Moscow 5, they smell something. Zixi, maybe not as much. Sees some wolves, so knows the Lycan was probably over towards the mid lane at one point. Night Stalker will have vision, so he will see the enemies as soon as they break their smoke. If he's a little bit more positioned towards the north, and he's going to see it right now, Yul is going to charge forward. Yul's have to dodge the cast. Good start for the Lina. However, Fissure's going to connect onto this Lina, and with the Death Ward, Yul's immediately going to die with this for 2-man burst strike off to the sidelines. Axmo is going to drag everyone away from the main fight. And at the same time, not taking that much damage. Warlock Ultimate's going to drop. Bignum jumps in, though, with a big Echo Slam, forcing out the Hand of God, though. He's going to get punished, immediately dropped down. ZXC getting charged down by Wolves and the regular charge as well. Slander doing his best to heal up the Sniper, but they overcommitted for the Lina. And ZXC, well, he's not going to get chased down by the Shapeshift anymore. Earn charge, he's still surviving right now. He's going to live. In fact, turn around for a little bit of shrapnel. Tron doing his best to ward away the enemies right now. But Moscow 5... they burn everything that they possibly have on that Lina with the Death Ward, with the Fissure, with the Cask as well. They don't have anything left to fight with afterwards, and that's the type of fight that 4 Clovers were looking for. Make an okay trade, and then use the remnants of that trade to go for a push.
Yeah, finally getting the tier 2 down. The golems are still alive for another 15 seconds, so the push definitely not stopping quite yet. BZZ, yes, is getting hit on by the Sniper, but Sniper not that threatening at the moment with just a couple of attacks there. But Moscow 5, the thing that hurt the most was Sniper being on the high ground here, the secret shop, and 4 Clover, I think they knew the Sniper was around there as well. And it was Sand King having to commit to a nice Pyro Strike, but just being in a really bad position after that, really not getting a proper epicenter off. Echo Slam was pretty nice, but Seedoy was BKB during it as a Spirit Breaker, so didn't accomplish all that much either by the end of it. So it was just 4 Clover making Moscow 5 split up and not fight on their terms finally.
And though it's not literally initiation, it pretty much is initiation, right? Like the whole point of having an initiation hero is that you could fight the fight on your own terms. And if you have good positioning, then you're fighting the fight on your own terms. It effectively serves the same purpose as a Blink Dagger Batrider or something like that. Maybe not literally, but in the grand scheme of things, it is very similar. They're going to go for Roshan straight after Moscow 5. Looks like 4 Clovers a little bit slow to react to this one. 1 minute until the Warlock ultimate will be up. He is heading on towards the Refresher Orb. Only has the Perseverance towards that, but now Sniper has the Aegis. ZXC will still try to preserve that as best he can, but he's getting some pretty serious damage items up. He has the Yasha, he has that Lightning Hammer, and of course that Eye of Scotty, giving him all the way up to 1800 HP. ZXC is not an easy target right now. Lycan, though he does do a lot of damage, has the BKB and everything like that, he's holding on to a lot of gold. Needs to grab some sort of threatening item to get on top of the Sniper and kill him off. Probably Basher somewhere down the line.
Yeah, Basher into Abyssal Blade definitely one of the easier ways to just lock somebody down and munch through them completely. AC, of course, never really a bad item to go for either. Negating the damage output of the Death Ward, which is Aghanim buffed, may also be something to consider here. But 4 Clover now, maybe they should take things a little bit more slowly, have Sexy Bumbo farm up that Refresher Orb, because the Golems, they've been doing a hell of a lot of work. Moscow 5, they don't have a Diffusal Blade. They don't really have the best heroes to carry one either. But do you think, if like Earthshaker gets excess gold somewhere, or even the Sand King, would it be worth for them to just invest into a Diffusal Blade?
Probably not. Like, they have so many random AoE stuns that are going to be hitting and slowing down the Golem's advance. Like, you could rely on that for the most part, and then you could just burst down the enemies and then leave the Golems to last. That's probably the best line of play for Moscow 5. The Purge outside of the Golems is also not going to be doing anything, I want to say. I don't see anything that can be buffed out. I don't think you could take off Fatal Bonds, although I've never really tried. Tron is going to be up on the high ground, however it's daytime right now. Seedoy is charging forward, and he's going to go straight towards Axmo. Haste Rune on the Sand King and over towards top side. Tron, oh, what a nice vision from Bignum. He's going to wall off everyone else, but Tron's still going to get jumped. I guess I'm just going to keep him alive for a little while, but the Laguna Blade cuts right through that. Now the Golems drop on ZXC. Cass is going to slow him down. Epicenter off to the backlines will kill off the Warlock, but the Warlock already did his job, so it's a wasted Epicenter from Axmo. Big Echo Slam from Bignum will help with the Death Ward channel as well. Goldblack's going to die immediately. Death Ward still being channeled, but it's not doing any more damage. In fact, the Golems are ripping apart ZXC and Slander, both Centaur, Hoof Stomp, and Slander. One more hit is all they need, but they can't quite get it out. Slander ZXC going to back off. And it's a 2 for 3 in favor of Moscow 5 again. That fight looked so great for them until the Witch Doctor Death Ward dropped.
Yeah, not only that, the Echo Slam as well, Bignum, he's really spot on this game. He has been the reason why Moscow 5 have either broken even or won so many fights in this game already. So, all in all, great plays individually from both sides. But, man, Night Stalker, you would think he's kind of a tanky hero, but even he just melted, and that was mostly just a Spirit Breaker hitting at them. Who now? running around with a Shadow Blade. BKB has been done for quite some time. He's hitting for near 200 damage almost, so it's definitely gonna hurt. And I don't know, that fight, or rather after the last fight, them fighting the golems, Sniper cannot do it. Nobody else can really fight the golems, man. They are really a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they need lifesteal. I still don't think that going for Diffusal Blade is the right course of action, but after that fight, maybe Moscow 5 will think that. They're grabbing Travels on the Sand King. I think Vale would probably be, like, pretty much do the Diffusal Blade's job better, but who knows. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a Vale. Do these two teams even know that Vale's an item? Because I haven't forgotten about that. They're going to go for bottom lane push now, Moscow 5. They're back on the aggressive, it seems. Warlock Golem down for another minute, and that is a minute where really 4 Clovers are going to be avoiding fights as best they can. It's a free tier 2 tower for Moscow 5. Looks like no high ground pressure, but they'll back off and be happy with that free pickup. Since Tron is still on the prowl, nighttime phase is up. He's going to spot out maybe BZZ. Yeah, he definitely sees him now, but he needs backup here. He needs stunners and the sniper. He's closing in pretty hot, but Lena's right around the corner, and yeah, there's a shapeshift from the Lycan. He has a BKB, even if things were to get hairy. Here comes G2A from across the trees, but with a BKB popped just to run away, that's less than ideal. BKB is dwindling in duration, yeah, but he's still being chased down. They have perfect vision with the Aghanim Scepter. They'll get the Burst Strike on him. Bignum looking for an angle for this ultimate, but he will just throw a vision and help the team disengage. A whole bunch of cooldowns traded, but ultimately the BKB now down to 6 seconds.
Yeah, definitely not too bad. Also, Necrobook was just used now, so not too sure if Moscow 5 even saw the Necro units there or not, but if they did, maybe it's gonna be an additional motivation thing for them. But Aegis is there for only about another 20 or so seconds, so unfortunately unable to make great use of that. At least Sniper does have the Mjolnir now, so extra bounces, of course, off the lightning there. Easier way to deal with all the Necro units, the Wolves, just the Golems on top of everything else. Chen, though, is also getting rather close to the pipe. The thing is, how well can Chen even position himself to get the pipe on multiple heroes?
Well, if he does, I'm pretty sure Bignum is going to be aware of it tanking as well, and they'll punish that fact. Pipe is kind of the item that Chen can contribute the easiest with. Like, BKBs on 4 Clovers are going to be doing some serious work, but Chen can't really like give his allies BKB. The best he could do is give them pipe. So it's nice in theory. If he lands it on himself and 2 others, let's say, that's probably going to be worthwhile to purchase the item, because there is so much magic damage on the Moscow 5 side, but still, pipe is not going to protect you versus the Death Ward nor the sniper. So pipe's limitations in this game are certainly real, and if Chen is in a bad position, the pipe can be completely irrelevant in some times.
Well, at least he has it finished now, so we'll see if it's gonna have an impact or not. In the meantime, Slander working towards what I can think is gonna be a 4-staff. Maybe it's gonna be another Dagon for the Witch Doctor as well here, who knows. Bignam does have a 4-staff of his own though. Ultimate Orb though on Axmo Sand King, so gonna be a Hex, but still a long way for him to go for that item. And, well, as we are reaching really the late stages of the game, which lineup would you even prefer? Let's hypothetically go with both teams having the same amount of farm. Network-wise, though, although it is rather 0, so I guess which team has the upper hand?
Oh man, that's such a hard question to ask because there are so many teamfight ultimates. Like if they had like an Anti-Mage or a Medusa, then yeah, probably that side. But ZXC, though Sniper is a late game powerhouse, so is the Spirit Breaker, so is the Lycan, and it's really up to Moscow 5's teamfight ultimates to get the job done and really make the Sniper's DPS life and much easier. So I really don't think it's about the farm in this game. It's really just all about the positioning. That matters so much more than the items that they have. Really, it's get the BKB, and anything after that is just extra.
Oh wow. Well, the team fight, it should be pretty damn great, the next one for the side of 4 Clover, because Sexy Bambo just finished up the refresher orb, flying out to him as we speak. So 4 golems gonna be running around the battlefield. Of course, they don't have that much lockdown apart from those, but if those golems get uptime on one single hero just attacking at him, it's gonna hurt so damn bad. So, of course, we do have the Mjolnir now at ZXC. Maybe it's gonna be just enough to clear up those golems fast.
Slender really has to watch his back just because he's not going to be moving while he's channeling the Death Ward. The Death Ward does not focus down the golems, and if he's not moving, he's probably going to die. So The Wish Doctor has to watch himself right now. For Clovers, they do get a pretty good read on where Moscow 5 are. Pipe on everyone now as they do close in. Pipe doesn't last the longest though, so odds are this pipe is just going to wear out and do pretty much nothing. Yeah, there we go. 0 magic damage block, so item so far still dead to the Chen. But they're just looking for a position right now. It's so hard to get position on this tower because they know it's nighttime. They know Tron sees everything. So for Clovers, they need to like surprise them or something, but how do you do that? They need like a different hero right now to do this. Tron is going to get a perfect read, but now nighttime dissolves, and it's 30 seconds where night is not going to be available to the Night Stalker, but up towards top, look at the new player and Bignum. Here comes the Epicenter and the Echo Slam onto BZZ and the Lina. They take out the Lina immediately. BZ pops BKB though. Now he's going to go straight towards Bignum with the back end. Cedo is occupying 3 heroes' time. He will go down, but it will buy so much space for the second set of golems to drop. They're running rampant right now. They're going to try to chase forward. They're a little bit short on lockdown. That upheaval didn't do jack. Stunned out, in fact, by a random cask bounce. But the double Warlock Golems dropped, ultimately just a 2 for 2. And now for Clovers, they're on full retreat right now. New player Axmo should be able to catch up to this Chen. Tron still sees him as well, and Chen is doomed to fall right now, making it 3 for 2. Moscow 5 still come out ahead. That fight was probably really as good as it gets for Clover's side. Maybe, you know, 5-man Warlock Golems twice is a little bit better, but that was a pretty sketchy fight, and Moscow 5 do end up buying back on their Sand King, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, certainly so, and made that fight. I'm not just too sure about the focus fire on Moscow 5's side. Going for the Lina first. If they had just gone in with that Epicenter Blink Burrow Strike onto the Warlock and using the Dagon, I'm almost certain they would have killed off the Warlock before he got off a single ability even. Or maybe if he even got that one ultimate, he would have died straight after almost. So a little bit weird of a decision for me, to be honest, but then again, Lina can throw out that Epicenter Sand King into the air with the Yule Scepter if you don't go on him, and of course can use the Laguna Blade for extra damage, but I'm just not entirely sure if Lina is still the best target to jump like that.
They probably should have both went towards the Lycan, right? Like, he was the easiest, he was the closest to where they actually made that blink from. And he dropped like down to half HP before he was able to pop his BKB, and with his insane sustain, with the BKB, Vlad's, and the AC armor, he was able to turn things around and do a lot of damage. If they both focused down on that one hero, maybe they were a little bit scared of overkill, and that is something you have to be wary of when you're running these team fight heavy comps. But still, that would have been a large damage source down the drain for Clovers. Maybe not as large as killing off the Warlock, but I'm pretty sure Warlock was more to the south and wasn't a viable target to begin with. Obviously, you want to do that, but they were just going to make their jump pretty much on whoever they could find. They're going to go for Roshan now. Tron's going to drag in Seedoy, although not really fully. Bignum's up on the high ground, so nothing can interrupt him right now from blinking and Echo Slamming. It should be a free Aegis for ZXC right now, and this is also a cheese, which a Sand King is looking to grab, it looks like. So yes, cheese Sand King, Aegis ZXC, and now they could go right back on the aggressive. 19 seconds until one Warlock Golem is up, but it's another 40 until they're both up.
So with this Aegis now, this makes the Sniper so much scarier, not only because he has double lives, but he can now with quite ease just purchase up an item with all of his gold, and exactly what he does. Did sell something beforehand, but Butterfly will be the item for him, so getting extra attack speed, extra evasion of course as well, movement speed if need be. So Butterfly definitely not a bad pickup for the Sniper there. And well, he's completely dry, but for another about 5 minutes, or of course maybe he loses it earlier, he's gonna have the second life. BKB also gonna be finished on Tron now. So Moscow 5, if they want to fight, then probably now is the option for them, but using the Epicenter as well as the Echo Slam, it's not half as easy aggressively as it is defensively.
Yeah, it's so much harder because the positioning is a little bit more unknown. I guess they do have the Night Stalker, True Sight, and Aghanim Scepter Vision, so that makes things a little bit easier than they ordinarily would be. But they're going to smoke up, and they will probably run into Go Black right now. At least Axmo will spot out this Chen. There's a Burrow Strike through him and his entire creep army. Pipe goes up. Centaur Stomp 1 is going to be blocked by the fresh BKB. Centaur Stomp 2 is going to cancel the Sandstorm, but yeah, Go Black is screwed. He's completely swarmed in heroes, and he will lose his own life and the lives of all the creeps that he convinced to join his cause. What a poor life for one of those creeps, but Moscow 5 get a free pick off. It costs them the fresh BKB usage of the Night Stalker, But if they can get a high ground push off of this, and it seems like they will be able to, at least try to, then it's very much so well worth it. They're going to go in, and they're going to see what they can get. They have to worry about mid lane a little bit, but really not by that much.
Well, them just not having vision of the heroes of 4Clover, they have to be a little bit afraid of maybe the Lycan also sneaking himself down the mid lane, for example. But they go back just to make sure, and I have to say, I absolutely loved how the way you put just Chen persuading his creeps to work with him. It's like, yeah, that's totally what happens. They're his slaves, man. They're his slaves.
Dude, have you already ever read the flavor text on Holy Persuasion? I think this is weird. Like, Chen is being controlled by someone else? What the hell? That's so messed up, dude. I feel sorry for Chen now. He's just a puppet.
Nah, he's just human, and
life sucks. Life sucks and then you die for Go Black.
That's just like the way life works. Somebody does it to you and you just pass it on. I don't know why it happens like that, but if like your parents are screwed up, they mess around with the children and the child himself is going to be screwed up. It's like, damn Chen, why you do this?
Yeah,
why you keep the circle of hate
don't
going?
Even have mothers, they just have Chen as a father, so they come from a broken household to begin with.
So
it's like the push is going to fail from Moscow 5. They're going to poke in, but now is not really the time where they could feel comfortable doing this. Double ultimate from the Warlock. They do have darkness, but regular daylight has just broken. And even though it's, darkness, the new darkness is a lot of duration, it's almost a minute of game time, it's still a little bit risky to be doing this, since this time 4 Clovers are on the defensive. And we mentioned before how hard it is to use the Epicenter and Echo Slam aggressively. Kind of same thing happens with Chaotic Offering. It's hard to use it aggressively than it is defensively. They'll just put ZXC there on the low ground though and just fire away with the Aghanim Scepter Vision on Tron. Look at this broken combo. How are you supposed to manage this? So Imba, please Ice Frog nerf. Now ZXC gonna go straight towards the melee racks. 4 Clovers, they gotta go eventually. Dagon Blast into Yol, drop him down to half. Here comes a charge from Seedoy. He is spotted out right now. Burst Strike will miss. There's Warlock Golem number 1. There's Warlock Golem number 2. All of them are on ZXC. Big Num's going to come with the Echo Slam, but it won't do jack. ZXC's still alive, however, thrown up into the air, off to the sidelines. They're going to chase down for Tron and BZ at the same time, but they will lose the sniper immediately. That's the first Couchor War. Warlock Golem still prancing around, doing some damage. ZXC going to respawn into a Laguna Blade, into a charge from Seedoy, and Sexy Bamboo going to jump for it as well. Now the Death Ward channel with the Epicenter, but it's not really doing that much damage. A little bit onto BZ, but that's pretty much it. ZXC still jumping low, and it looks like he will be going down right now. Shadow Word will do him in. Off to the top side though, Chen and Warlock both will have to disengage. It's an even 2 for 2. As 4 Clovers, they did end up losing their Lycan. He was taking the brunt of that Witch Doctor ultimate, and they lost Spirit Breaker, therefore they run out of damage output, Warlock Golems or not. Ultimately, it's a relatively even fight as far as casualties are concerned. That's not really what I would expect, but hey, again, it's all about the positioning in these fights.
Wow, it's just 4 Clover, I think the BKB is what is allowing for them to really stay in the fight and getting just worthy trades there. This time around it was even better just because they had to kill the sniper twice and they succeeded with it. The Sand King though, he really should have expected the BKB to come out from the Spirit Breaker like that. He pretty much burrow striked himself closer to the enemy and well, he had a haste rune, so he had the ability to do so. Second burrow strike also completely missed because Lycan was just too fast. Had he had like 2 proper burrow strikes to land and the Epicenter coming out a little bit earlier, could have been such a better fight, but in the end, still kind of a break even. Lycan though does finish up a Monkey King bar with the last of his gold. So that means no buyback. Definitely kind of a risky thing to do, but hey, sometimes you just need to go for it to be able to kill heroes. Although Go Black, no, he's gonna go down again. Stunned up by the burst strike. Tron getting closer with the Void. It should be enough. There's not even a TP on Chen, so there's just no chance at all. Or is there? Paralyzing Cask will come in, bounce to the creeps, and nope, not back to Chen. And wow, he does survive somehow.
Yeah, Moscow 5 not at a great angle there. They had to go around the tree line where there were just creeps sitting there for Chen. So you got to go through that. And though they can, in theory, just kill off the creeps, they don't really want to slow down to kill the creeps, then try to chase after the Chen. So they try to go all in, and they fail ultimately. So it's Chen to survive, albeit barely. And really, I think this item purchase for the Lycan, it will make sense if they had Sexy Bamboo packing the double ultimates right now. Then they really don't have much of a need for a desperate defense buyback for the Lycan. He will have probably enough time to farm up some places and get himself back up to buyback golds. After that, Lycan is more or less topped out. Maybe you swap out Vlad's, make someone like Chen or Warlock on your team buy that item instead, and grab like a Satanic or something like that for a little bit more direct survivability. But Lycan is pretty much 6-slotted, similar to the Sniper. Well, Sniper has a little bit more to go. This TP scroll can be replaced. How does Sniper have so much more net worth than the Lycan, yet he has fewer items? I guess just the cheaper items on the Lycan, but yeah, Sniper is almost 6-slotted as well. And then it's going to come down to, can 4 Clovers get on top of ZXC like they just did in the last fight? If they don't, they will be sufficiently punished.
The Sniper really not staying that far back either. Of course, last time around he was the one sieging, so it makes sense that he has to be maybe a little bit farther up. At least him and the Night Stalker, because Night Stalker does have to provide that vision for them. But they are going around rather aggressively, but it's only the 2 of them. This may be a huge mistake. Axmo just used the Burst Strike also, but never mind, blinks out before any kind of damage is taken by him. Now we also have a Warlock with a BKB. Damn, this Warlock is pretty durable. 2.2k health, now has the BKB also. And Moscow 5, well, they just need more damage. They need like a Daedalus, maybe a Monkey King bar of his own on the Sniper as well soon.
Yeah, and they also need someone else to start stepping up in the damage department. When you're running this core Sand King, I mentioned earlier that, well, he's going for a Dagon build, which is already like a super aggressive early game build. Doesn't really do that much later on, and aside from the Epicenter, which so far they haven't been landing, he's a dead hero. I think the Night Stalker even has to consider grabbing like an AC or something like that. Maybe not a fully aggressive item, like not an Abyssal Blade or anything like that, maybe not yet, but something that could help him do a little bit more damage and also try to keep the Sniper alive. Because 4 Clovers, they are getting a lot of damage. They have heroes that can use farm a lot better than Moscow 5s can. Even though Seedoy is not really that wealthy as the Spirit Breaker, we can already see that he's having some pretty significant impacts. He's drawing a lot of fire, and sometimes that's just all you need on a hero that has 2,000 HP and 20 armor right now.
Yeah, his BKB duration is a kind of a worry, but the 5 seconds may still be enough because he is really the one that, in so many successful fights for 4 Clover, has really split up the enemy team just by charging at really anybody on Moscow 5. Do we have a BKB? Never mind. I thought maybe Witch Doctor is getting close to a BKB, but not really the case. Probably wants to save for buyback. And looking at the buybacks in general, well, 3 heroes have it on Moscow 5. Only the Spirit Breaker to have it for the Radiant side, though.
Yeah, so 4 Clovers, they will have a little bit more time to try to farm up some buyback, but Warlock buyback is almost irrelevant. He has a BKB now, so he's probably going to get his double ultimate off, and then your Warlock is expendable from there on out. He doesn't actually do anything. Similar for the Chen. He could pop all his spells and then he could die and no one really cares. So buybacks aren't super important for the 4 Clover side. Whereas for Moscow 5, there's a higher chance that they get killed off before they get their ultimates off because they're trying to wait for the perfect position. So buybacks for Moscow 5 are a lot more important than buybacks for 4 Clovers. But Roshan is going to, hopefully for both sides, bypass that need for buyback, at least for a little while. It's going to be up in 20 seconds. Lycan will spot that one out with his Wolves. And Lycan cancel this one, although he's going to run to Axmo, Dagon Blasts, just as a warning shot. And Lycan needs to get some lifesteal, needs to hit something soon, because the Roshan is respawning, and we have a smoke up from Moscow 5. This is incredibly aggressive. They would rather be on the defensive right now, defending this Roshan pit instead of going for this aggressive play, but they do have the perfect vision with Tron right now, and they're going to run around into a whole bunch of them. Epicenter not being used just yet. There it is, actually, on to Sexy Bambo. He's down without any ultimates. Now the Death Ward channel, as well as the Echo Slam. They'll just crush through everyone's Slander, though. Will get interrupted out of that. Now BZZ and Seedoy just going to work on ZXC. They will bring down the Sniper in the end. Burst Strike a little bit too late, and Sniper will try to buy back into this game off the side. Slander's going to picked off by Lena. Bignum going to rejoin the fight with his Blink Dagger, stunning up one. That's the Lycan down, throwing out another Fissure, or at least he's trying to. The Chen Creep still swarming Bignum right now, plus the Wolves. Bignum going to go down. Y'all still in this fight as well. Chasing after Seedoy, assassinate from the bot back. Sniper will get that kill, who's going to buy back as well. Y'all in the corner will be going down, but not before he throws an LSA. It's a triple kill for Axmo, and everyone and their mom uses buyback. Roshan is still untouched. Here comes the Spirit Breaker again, but Spirit Breaker should not be doing this. That's suicide, and he will cancel that one out. That was an even fight. It's a 3 for 4 in favor of Moscow 5. 2 buybacks spent apiece. If they get this Roshan, it's a clear victory for them. But here comes 4 Clovers again. Seedoy is spotting them out. Blink forward. Burst Strike though on Seedoy. Dagon Blast. Seedoy pops the BKB. Tries to turn and fight. Here comes BZZ. Gonna try to go forth that Roshan. Sniper grabs the Aegis, however. Now he's doing a lot of damage towards the enemies. Big enough with the high grounds. Gonna throw up a Fissure, which will interrupt them both. And with the Burst Strike, they'll clean the rest up. Both these 2 heroes for 4 Clovers just bought back. The cheese is going to be claimed by Tron. There's an E-Blade, freaking E-Blade on the Sand King, and the Sniper holds control of this Aegis. If Moscow 5 go for a death push right now, I think they're looking at Raxes at the very least.
Yeah, it's really minimum Raxes. I do believe they may have just enough time to really finish the entirety. Then again, they are going to be up against 4 golems unless they manage to stun lock Warlock completely. And last fight, somehow they managed to get Warlock before he got the BKB off. Although Sand King could have been a little bit greedier, go for a double burrow strike at the start of the fight, land on both the Warlock as well as the Lina, but they knew their priority, and this time around just killing Warlock before a single golem worked out wonders, and now they have more or less double extra lives with the cheese, with the Aegis there. They even have a Lincoln shared by the Sand King onto the sniper just in case. So gonna be one set of racks and Lycan. No buyback because, well, he used it already. So 50 seconds, or well, I say 30 seconds with 3 heroes. I don't think they're gonna hold.
Well, the tower is not there. Raxes are down. 40 seconds till the Lycan is back up at full. They're going to slide down to the bottom lane and do what they can there. And for Clovers, they do have double Warlock ultimate because, well, the Warlock was dropped first thing in the last fight before he got anything off. With the Dragon Blast being focused into him as well. New player still is sitting on quite the cannon right now. Shotgun Sand King. They'll take down the Raxes, both Raxes down towards bottom, and then maybe slide somewhere else. No, okay, well, they're going to back off right now. 11 seconds till Lycan is back up, and they should make a clean retreat right now, although Axmo is a little hesitant on his retreat. Has a Blink Dagger out, has an Ethereal Blade. He should be fine because he's not charged. Everyone else is going to make their escape as well. 2 Raxes now up for Moscow 5.
So it's still not game over until it's supersized Mega Creeps, and even then, every now and then, you can turn things around. So looking at the buyback status, only Witchtalker and Sand King have it for the dire side. Nobody else in the game has it, in fact. So if 4 Clovers somehow get a nice fight for themselves and have the correct heroes alive after that fight, their pushing power may be just enough to go for a counter GG kind of play here. So we're nearing the 60-minute mark. Chen, well, almost safe to say he isn't doing much of anything. The pipe, though, isn't even that bad of an item pickup, or hasn't been that bad. But you can see that they themselves know that probably this one push might be their last chance.
They're going to go all in on that push. Moscow 5 back on the defensive with all their ultimates up. Aghanim Scepter even up on the Shaker. So it's high ground play for Moscow 5. If 4 Clovers crack this, there are no more there's a buyback on the Witch Doctor and the Sand King, but a shotgun onto Yol off to the sideline. Dragon Blast, Ethereal Blade. Not a great start to your push, being a man down. And Lina didn't stand a chance there. Still, the Aegis is up on the sniper, and 4 Clovers, they're going to dissolve into the enemy jungle. Go black. Oh, narrowly dodging death right there. That could have been death by either Burrow Strike or Void from the Night Stalker. But they're going to charge forward, looking for a little bit more, actually. They catch vision of BZZ, and I think they also might know where the Warlock is. But Tron is quite ahead of the rest of his team, so actually, no, Sand King coming around the side. If they kill off the Warlock again, he does not have a buyback. They will Burrow Strike him. Shotgun, not quite going to do it. Void coming in as well. That's still not doing it. Assassinate. It's still not enough. 8 HP, the Warlock lives. Now he's going to turn around for 1 ultimate. Dumping the second one onto new player as well. That's Sand King down in exchange for Jules. But now Bingham gets in with a big Echo Slam. He's going to kill off the Warlock in the end. Death Ward being channeled as well. Cito doing his best to try to cancel that one. And he will do it eventually. But he's going to get roughed up by ZXC, who's now going to go focus towards the Lycan. That's going to be a triple for ZXC. Now Goblack's the only one on the run. It's going to be GG called. Huge plays from this Shaker and Witch Doctor and Sand King, man. The AoE teamfight power of Moscow 5 is immense, and boy did they deliver.
Man, still, I can't believe Warlock survived with like 8 HP. That was crazy. Without that would have been even better of a wipe, but of course, so many golems just made for a better Echo Slam, and not only that, Earthshaker got an Aghanim Scepter pretty much just before they went for that fight.
Alright guys, this is going to be it. I'm pretty sure your bets are going to be refunded, but don't quote me on that one. We are going to have to close out the series a little bit early because we had some technical issues. I'll update you as I know more later on. We do have another set coming up. It's London Conspiracy going up against Vega, and it should be starting very shortly, guys, so don't go anywhere. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by Couchor for this best of 3. Follow us on Twitter at Mikelorus, at Couchor, and also be sure to hit that follow button. But for right now, guys, back to the wait screen, and hopefully the next set will start soon, and hopefully it won't have any technical problems. See you in a little bit, guys.